Good morning. Today is September 14th. Today we're having chicken queso bowl, turkey and cheese sub, fruit and yogurt salad, and our sides are black beans, veggies, fruit, and cookie. Miss Padro was actually in New York City on September 11th, 2001. This is a recording that was made a couple of years ago when she was a teacher at Boone Middle School.
I'm Tiana. On this day in history, President George W. Bush declared war on terror due to the collapse of the Twin Towers. We interviewed a few of our teachers for historical perspectives.
Specifically, when I heard the news, I was actually stationed in New York City, and I was on my way to work. And as I'm listening to the morning radio, the station goes dead. When I switched the stations, all the stations were actually off air. There was no one speaking. And once I got into my office is when I found out what happened.
I was actually in 6th grade, 12 years old, through the situation. I was actually sitting in class, 9 in the morning. First announcement came up saying that we're going to be in a lockdown. And normally we don't have lockdowns in New York. So when this process was happening, all the students went to their section of the classroom. Then there was a second announcement within like 30 minutes that this lockdown now has to be moved in the hallways, in the middle of the whole school. So now we went to the hallways, and most of us, all the kids at that age, we didn't understand or process what was happening. Once the lockdown was over, it was probably around 10:30 in the morning, announcement came up again, and pretty much they mentioned that the World Trade Center was hit twice and it fell, which then they did not know yet that the other two planes hit, the one that got shut down and the other one that was head to the Pentagon. So at that moment in New York, it was at a standstill with schools, and no student was able to leave out of the schools until a parent or guardian picked them up. So a lot of students were still at the school till like later in the day because most of the parents stood in the Manhattan Island throughout the day.
There was a lot of emotion when it came to the events. I'm a soldier at this time. I was a soldier stationed in New York City as a recruiter. So there were a lot of mixed feelings because as a soldier, now we know that something is going on in the United States and the soldiers have to prepare for whatever's coming. So as a soldier, I was feeling like I was needed somewhere else. But being in New York City, I was with my family. I was stationed there. So that was also another feeling that I had, that I needed to be home with my family, and I was thankful that I was in New York City at the time when this occurred.
Well, at that time, as a 12-year-old, confused, scared, no idea what to do, what's next. All these questions always come up as a 12-year-old. But through time, when you become a young adult, and you start to research and really investigate, then you be like, it's part of life. Things that are out of my control, out of people's control, and it's pretty much how you're able to do with it at the end of the day.
At the time that this happened, I was already in service for about a good 10 years. And for 10 years, we didn't have any situations going on in the United States. So truthfully, I never did think that anything would happen here in the United States. Whether or not it's going to happen again, it all depends on how our government continues to do things to protect us, continues to be vigilant on what's occurring in the States, and also, making sure that everyone is safe and everyone is aware of how to be safe.
Happened, and do you think it may happen again during your lifetime?
No, never. At that time, never 12 years of my life would think that some drastic situation happened like that. Will it happen again? I definitely believe most certainly. We can't control human actions. Just as Pearl Harbor, people have lived it, and people are still alive after that event. So I'm praying that it doesn't happen, that those things do not happen. But well, I just hope that in a certain aspect like that, that we as human beings are able to understand and help those in need in those types of moments.